Hello and welcome back. This is Victor Magariño, and today I'm going to do something a little bit different because it's been almost 1 year since I first appeared here in YouTube, and I wanted to share a little bit more about my story because people that watch the content of YouTube creators like myself who are very controversial because they speak about economic issues, philosophical, and political issues from very, let's say, unconventional standpoints. People tend to forget that there's a person behind the camera and that we also have a story to ourselves and that our beliefs don't just come from thin air but they actually emanate from the things that we've learned and the way that we are. So let me introduce myself a little bit here. And I'm going to divide this video into three parts. First, talking about the present of myself, of my story, then the past, and then future perspectives to let you know what I want to be doing not only in the immediate future but also in the foreseeable future. So I'm currently an economics and philosophy student at NYU Shanghai, although this academic year I'm doing it in New York because I'm doing the study away program. And even though in the present moment I'm back in Spain enjoying the winter holidays, I will be back a couple of weeks from now in New York, and I'll continue to study the things that I study there, which again are economics and philosophy. When it comes to economics, this is the field that I'm most passionate about and the one in which I wish to become a professional in the future. And the reason for this is because economics really gives us an understanding of the way in which our economy is structured, and from that basic structure emerge so many things, and we are able to understand so many other things about our societies and about individuals and collective groups that I just think that it's indispensable. I also study philosophy because I believe that any economist should have a proper philosophical background, because if you lack it, like many of the neoclassical economists do, you're very likely going to find that you are going to run into pit holes and you're going to hit your head against walls because you don't have a proper methodology and you don't have a proper understanding of the basis from which you can build economics. In fact, a lot of the classical economists were all philosophers as well. Take Adam Smith, for example. He was a moral philosopher. Take John Stuart Mill. Take even Karl Marx. They were all philosophers as well. And this is a good tendency that for the wars has been decreasing, and today economic students barely have any philosophical background. But those two are not just the only things that I'm interested in, because I also love history, anthropology, psychology, physics, and I'm especially interested in military history and the way in which history is created through wars and so on and so forth. And this is something that I've been interested in for pretty much all of my young life, and it's something that is obviously going to continue to intrigue me in the future. I also enjoy to learn languages, and in fact I know a decent amount of them. I can speak English, Spanish, I can speak Chinese, I can speak a little bit of French, and I even learned Latin in high school, even though I barely remember, I don't remember too much of it. But yeah, I really like to learn languages, and in the future I also want to learn German and Russian and languages, in Europe and in other continents that I believe are important in order to read their literature and in order to understand their culture from this linguistic perspective. When it comes to my non-academic hobbies, I have to say that I really love to cook. In fact, I cook pretty much every day for myself, and I particularly like to cook pizza. As you can see in the screen, I make some pretty nice pizza, and however, even though pizza is not part of my diet, because I'm also very careful with what I eat and with exercise and so on and so forth, pizza is something that I enjoy doing, and every now and then I eat it. And this is something that everyone that knows me will probably uh, tell you this, that in fact I well, they might like it or not, but I really like making pizza, and I think that I make quite good pizzas. As I said, I also love sports. I've been interested for a lot of my life in many sports that I will be speaking about in my when I speak a bit about my past story. And again, I'm very conscious about my physique, and I really want to have a proper health, because I think that from bodily health comes mental health, and from mental health you have this cycle in which you have a positive feedback loop, and this is something that really bothers me and something that I work very hard in. So when it comes to my past, I was born in Spain, in Madrid, in 1999, so I'm currently 20 years old. And I have to admit that I had a very nice childhood, and I've not always been a person interested in these academic pursuits. In fact, I was pretty much like every other kid. I really liked cars, I liked to play with toys, I enjoyed helping my grandfather in the garden, and something that I really enjoyed all throughout my life and even today is the beach, going to the beach and staying there with friends and with family. And in Spain, the sea is beautiful pretty much in all of the parts of Spain that are next to the sea. And I have to admit that this is something that I also want to do when I retire. Go uh, live in somewhere probably in Valencia or in Andalusia, and enjoy the nice weather that we have here in the south. A big part of my life has always been sports, as I've said before, and in fact through some of my life I wanted to be a goalkeeper. I played for the Atletico Madrid Federation, and I'm still a fan of Atletico Madrid. And even at some other point, I wanted to become a professional tennis player, and this is something that I really got into in my last years in high school. I trained every day for 2 hours or more, and I competed and so on and so forth. And in fact, I achieved pretty good things. I won some tournaments, and I even got to be 800 in the Spanish men's singles ranking. So tennis is something that has really changed the way I perceive the world, and it's something that I've been always passionate about. And even though I don't currently play, I have been in NYU Shanghai's tennis team, but I currently don't play and I don't train as I did. But every now and then I go and I play, and I really like it. And it's something that as I grew up, I learned a lot from, and really changed me. And everyone that knows me also could perfectly tell you how important tennis has been in my life. To prove to you that I actually did play tennis and all this, here are a couple of videos of me playing tennis, and so that you see. But that hasn't been the only sport that I've done, because I've also done a lot of swimming. I even practiced fencing for some years, and I was also pretty good at it. I've been very interested also in playing ping pong. Here you can see me, for example, playing ping pong with a friend. Something that also really changed me was in the last 2 3 years of my high school experience, when I decided to embark myself into this journey to being accepted into university, a top university in the United States. And I knew that I had to work very hard, and in fact, this is pretty much what I did for the last 3 years of high school. I got involved into this dual diploma that allowed me to achieve not only my Spanish high school diploma, but also an American high school diploma. And I've also been very active in academic and other things that in the end ended up allowing me to achieve it. But it wasn't easy. It was pretty hard because in Spain, going outside to study is something that a lot of people go outside to study, but they do so as a student of a Spanish university. They do what we call Erasmus, but not too many actually go ahead and apply for universities outside and like in the United States, especially outside of Europe, and especially not in China, which is what I did. And this is something that was very hard, but after a lot of work and after having to sacrifice many things, I was able to achieve. And again, it was not easy, but if you work hard, which is something that I've always done, you can achieve great things in life. Of course, you also need luck and you also need external factors, but I don't want to give Jordan Peterson here the argument. I don't want it to be that kind of argument, but it is in fact something that matters. Your routine, how much you really want to achieve certain goals and what you're willing to sacrifice for them. Something that clearly plays an important role, and in my life I've been able to see this. However, I've also had opportunities that other people didn't have, so it's not something that can be reduced to individual. My environment and the kind of family and so on that I grew up in really got me to where I am right now, which is something that it's pretty obvious. As far as my future is concerned, as always, there's many things that I want to do, and there are many projects that I want to be involved in. And this starts with the most basic thing that I want to do, which is achieving a doctorate in economics. For multiple reasons. The first being because I want to advance economic knowledge, and I want to give my own addition to economic knowledge, because it's pretty much my passion. Economics is my passion. However, this doctorate, I want to finance it pretty much entirely by myself. I will be applying for scholarships and so on, but I want to finance it entirely on my own where I can. So I'll probably have to start working when I graduate before actually engaging in this doctoral thesis and so on. And what I would like to begin working in, there's different things that I want to do also in this working life. I would like to work in the banking sector because it's something, monetary theory and finance is one of the aspects of economics that I'm most interested in. And so getting to work there, getting to know the world from the inside it's something that I would really like to do. And I would also like to do some consulting work for cooperatives, some advising, and even maybe start with other people my own cooperative to get the changes that I want to see in the economy, to try to put my own efforts into materializing them. And this is of course something that is in my radar, but it's not the only thing that I want to do, because at some point I would also like to work in academia, maybe once I've gotten my doctorate. And I would also like to work at some point or another in politics here in Spain, because Spanish politics is another world. It's, if anyone that knows it can tell you that Spanish politics is something that requires a lot of experience and a lot of work, and requires having this sort of social intelligence, and this is something that at some point or another, once I feel prepared for it, I want to also be involved in. Politics, some academia, some banking, some consulting for cooperatives, and some political work. But, as everything in life, things could go on a completely different direction. This is just what I would ideally like to do. However, I am very well aware that life can move you in many different directions, and that the best thing that I can do in the present is prepare myself well for life, for the things that are yet to come, and to get as much experience and as much knowledge about the world as I can, which is what I'm doing. And YouTube is something that is also helping me to accomplish, to meet people, to spread my ideas, and to look at other people's ideas with a critical lens, to spread the kind of methodology, the kind of working ethic that I want to see people have. As far as my working experience is concerned, I really don't have any full-time working experience. I'm only 20, but I have done an internship in the past, and I have worked as a mathematics learning assistant at NYU Shanghai, which is something that I will be doing again when I get back. Maybe as a math learning assistant, maybe as an economics learning assistant. It depends on what they offer me, and it depends on what I want to do. But yeah, so far that's my basic working experience. I've done other things, but in the future I want to be engaged in many other projects. So this is pretty much it. I mean, I could say many more things, but I want to keep this short. So I will see you in the next video. Hope you like this, and well, have a nice day.